Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lucy. I know I've been neglecting my channel. I've been busy with a new career and traveling and having fun. So for those of you who have checked in on me, thank you. I am totally fine. Life is great. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little update on my shop, where things are at right now. So I'll start where I always do, heart of the shop, the table saw. So this is a SawStop contractor's saw. I built the entire storage area here. So my track saw's in the bottom drawer here, and there's storage for the tracks right underneath. And then I've got a crosscut sled, and then just room for various other accessories. On this little vertical pullout, I have room for the push blocks, and the other side has some extra blades as well. All right, I also have my Craig Foreman here. This is really easy to just move when I need to do bigger things. Most of the time I don't need to move it, so this is a really nice location for it. All right, so this little dust cart I have a whole video on. It's got a red light, green light sensor to show me when the bin is full. In that video I have information on how to wire your own for like 30 to 40 bucks instead of spending $150 on a complete ready-made. This is great. I'm able to use this to like clean off the table saw and stuff, but then I also have the floor sweeper. And so I've got this one on this side, and I've got another of the matching hoses on the other side, so I can get to the entire shop and vacuum it up really easily. Because I've got these black mats, which vacuum up really nice. And all right, you can see the mini split up there. That was one of the best additions to the shop, as well as blowing more insulation in the ceiling. So I stay nice and cool. It is Arizona, 110 degrees right now this time of year, and it's nice and cool in here. All right, the cabinets I picked up used for like 200 bucks for the entire set. These countertops I bought at a reclaim store called Stardust, Restore, similar kind of thing. For like $10 a countertop, so I was able to put it all together and make a really nice station. I have all these magnets up here. Now I know a lot of people really like to have everything enclosed. That's great if it works for you. What works best for me is to have everything visible and at eye level. I find that even with these power tools over here, I have nicer Bosch impact driver and drill, but I have them in a drawer right now, and I find that I still end up reaching for my Ryobis all the time just because they're there and accessible. All right, I think we missed the bandsaw. Bandsaw's there too, nothing too thrilling with that. All right, as we move to the miter saw, so let me show you the door. So I put the miter saw where I did on purpose, so if I have really long pieces of wood, I'm able to actually just open up the door, and then I have really infinite length that direction, and then I have 8 feet of length on the left-hand side of the saw. 2 ports for dust collection. So one is going to be right back here, and another is a big 4-inch sweeper, and that runs through on an automatic blast gate, so is a table saw to my big dust collection system. And I really like that big 4-inch port because anything that's left behind, I'm able to just take this little brush and just sweep it down in there, and it works really well. This area under the miter saw, I've gone through a couple different transformations. The first was that I had these bins that were actually here, and that was nicer than when it was just 2 doors, but I really wanted drawers. So here I've got all kinds of different router templates. I've got extra blades. Over here I've got some chisels and whatnot on both sides. And then in here I've got my really nice chisels. So when I was leaving my last career, my coworkers gave me a very generous gift card to Woodcraft. So I was able to get some really nice Japanese chisels so that I will have those forever because they worked with the very best people. And then all my little small part storage. So I just pulled all the little bins out of these little Harbor Freight containers and was able to have a lot of really nice small part containers. A little bit bigger, deeper things for things like dominoes. And then at the bottom I have my domino multi-tool, sandpaper, things like that. Now, you'll notice my grand idea of whenever I would have little parts, I'd just throw them in here, and every time I'd open this up, I would just sort them and put them back. Well, clearly, I'm a failure. That is not working out well for me at all. But I do grab things from there, but I really do need to go through and sort that at some point. All right. If you notice this very cute little, my dad printed this for me, but this very cute little toy was one of the very first things that I ever built with my dad in his workshop. So that gets a special place right here. And this is just nice to have, again, things at eye level, on magnets, easy to get to. I did keep those small part storage things for things like nails that I rarely use, extra coasters that I just need to finish, things like that. Now, if you followed my channel for a while, of course you know how much I love clamps. So I had the big clamps, the big Bessies, over behind my other dust collector, and then I've got all my little clamps there. All right, this is just, I did a cabinet job for someone, and I was building it here and taking it to their home, so I just did a mock-up of all the cabinets so that I would be able to test the fit of everything. So I just have to figure out what I'm going to do with that. All right, as we move over to the main dust collector. So I've got 3 automatic blast gates that were a gift from my brother, not something that I would have invested in, but they are amazing. I've got them for my table saw, my miter saw, and my jointer. Now you might ask, why not the planer, since that's the biggest dust producer? Well, because I never just go, oh, I'll just run a quick board through, because that would be disastrous. There would be dust everywhere. But I have been known to just want to make a quick cut on the miter saw or run something through the jointer quickly, so that just saves me from myself. Now, I used to have a big steel drum for the dust collection bin. I've replaced that with this plastic bin. It is tremendously easier to empty. And again, I have this wired up system, which you can see by this little video clip how it works. So as soon as the dust gets to the level that I have preset, it's going to turn red to show me. Now, some have like a big alarm system. I didn't want something that would actually startle me in the middle of working. I just wanted to be alerted, because I set it low enough that I could still finish whatever I'm doing before I'd have to empty it. And then of course it goes to that big filter. I've been using that same filter for a few years now, and I still don't have any meaningful dust in the bag at the bottom. So that separator works really wonderful. All right, the planer, common DeWalt, but I did upgrade to the helical head because I really like to work with like curly maple, and that helps tremendously with not getting tear out. I've also got all these different weights of mallets that I've built. So this one's a little bit lighter. This total purple heart one, it's also got BB beads in it too, so it has extra heft to it. It's very helpful. So I use those all the time. And then my little pull saws are just on magnets, as well as some hand planes. So just some hand tools, again, at eye level, simple, visible, really important to me. All right, so the sander here, the drum sander, also has that same kind of attachment. This is the other one that I will use for with the floor sweeper or floor vacuum to be able to get this side of the shop. I enclose this, and I have a video on that. So I've got all my little ratcheting wrenches, which are super helpful. Again, visible right there. All right, the big workbench I picked up used. Pretty inexpensive. The guy even delivered it to my house. He lived just a couple miles away. I have replaced the top, but again, it's getting beat up because I use it. This was one that I restored from my high school shop class. My dad brought it to me from Minnesota. It is wonderful. You can see the wood's getting a little beat up because, again, I use it all the time. I don't know what I did before I had this. It's great. Underneath there, I've got all the pieces to be able to pull out to use with my vacuum press if I'm going to be doing some veneer work. All right, as we come around the side here, again, you'll see more things visible. I've got wax, paper, glue, little bench dogs, some card scrapers and stuff. Again, just this is where I end up doing most of my assembly work, so I just like to have, again, everything really visible and available. I did a video on this little cabinet on how I did the shims. This is all scrap wood, so as you can see, we've got a couple different types of wood, but this is, again, just really handy for when I'm doing glue ups or whatnot. And again, these are those little Bosch drivers that I was mentioning that I end up not using as much as I should, just because the others are more visible. The drill press, see if I can get a decent enough angle here. Again, dedicated dust collection, works really great. Have all of my different bits. This I just built out of all scrap wood. And then different Craig jigs down here. I should also mention that drum sander, I did a little video on. I picked it up used, again, got a really great deal on it and realized that it was a little bit wobbly, so I could see why they were selling it. And it just took a little spider coupler that cost, I think, $2, and that made it work perfectly again. So if you're a little handy and can troubleshoot problems, you can save a lot of money on used tools. All right, I also bought this sander used, use it all the time. Have dust collection to these two sanders because I'm never using them at the same time, so I just attach them. And now that I've gotten a 3D printer, which we'll get to in a minute here, I was able to make all these little magnetic little connectors. All right, so one of the most recent updates that I did was trying to be able to ventilate both one of my 3D printers that I'm going to use for like ABS, ASA filaments that need ventilation, as well as my laser engraver. So I've got this enclosed laser engraver here. So I was able to 3D print one of these little magnetic iris type blast gates, which I think is super cool. I would imagine for dust it would get a little gummed up. So for ventilation it's going to work great. But if you've ever used one of this style and for dust, let me know how it works out. So this is just going to ventilate straight outside where I had a 4-inch hole in the wall already for when I had a portable AC. But again, I've just got these little magnetic 3D printed little ports, and I can just connect it like that. And then as I'm laser engraving, turn on this inline fan. And I like the little handle that I added because then I know if it's on or if it's open or not. So straight up is open, and I can turn on the fan. And that inline fan is going to run that all out. And I've got the same magnetic little catch underneath. All right, the laser enclosure is very nice to have because otherwise I would just open up the garage door and run a fan to ventilate it, and then I had to wear these super attractive glasses the whole time I was in here working. So this takes care of that for me. All right. So I've got two little 3D printers there. This is the one that I'm dedicating for some of those more toxic filaments. And then I just made a little pull-out tray here that I have my computer on when I'm doing the laser engraver. All right, so since I rearranged everything there, I still don't know what to do with my little CNC. You can see my big lathe there and little lathe cart and accessories. Again, I did a little video on that too, but for sharpening and whatnot. All right, the jointer I also bought used, and it already had the helical heads in it, which again, since I use a lot of figured lumber, is really, really helpful. Router table here. Got a JESM lift in it, and I picked up this little Incra jig used, and that's been really cool. Got some videos on like double box joints and different cool little boxes. So done a lot of boxes like memory boxes, urns, things like that, and that's where the laser engraver really helps with making those personalized. All right. This thing over here, you can see I have a scrap wood problem. I keep making rules for myself about what I will keep and won't keep, but then I don't follow them. So this side of the cart is overflowing. The sheet's good in the middle. I could actually use some replenishing on. And then long lumber on this side again, very much overflowing. All right, well, that's pretty much it for my shop. Again, I apologize that I've been neglecting the channel, but I've been busy traveling and having a good time. So guess I'm really not going to apologize for that. All right, if you have any questions about anything in my shop, just please put those in the comments. Like and subscribe, support the channel. I always appreciate you. And take care. Keep building. Have an awesome day.